Hello, everyone. So welcome to the simple present tense part 6. In part 6, we are going to look at the simple present tense verb-to-be negative sentences. In part 5, we have looked at the simple present tense verb-to-be sentences, positive sentences. Remember, a verb-to-be sentence is a sentence that does not have a real verb, but rather it has a fake verb, which we refer to as a verb to be. In the present tense, we have 3 verbs to be, which are namely am, is, and are. Okay? So let's get straight into it and look at the structure of the simple present tense verb to be negative sentences. So negative verb to be sentence. The structure is as follows. You have the subject, and then after the subject, you put the verb to be, and then after the verb to be, you put the not to indicate that it is a negative sentence. And then after that, you can put other words. Remember that for the subject I, use the verb to be am. For the subjects he, she, and it, use the verb to be is. And for the subjects you, they, and we, use the verb to be are. Okay? So am, is, are verbs to be. Okay? Let's now apply these rules and the structure in the following section, in which we do some exercises. So the exercise is as follows. Change the following sentences into the simple present tense negative verb to be sentences. So we need to change the following sentences and make them negative verb to be sentences in the simple present tense. Let's start with the first sentence. Tom, space, always happy. Okay? So we have the subject here, which is Tom. And so Tom is a he. So the subject is he, and therefore it means that our verb to be has to be is. So the correct sentence then is, Tom is not always happy. So we put not. Why? Because we said this is a negative verb to be sentence. So it has to be negative. Okay? Let's move right along. Next sentence. This man, space, angry at us over nothing. So the subject is this man. So it's the same as he again. So the subject is he, so it means that we have to use the verb to be is. But of course, like we said, here we are talking about negative verb to be sentences. So we need to make it negative. So it has to be a negative verb to be for the subject, he, which is going to be is not. So the correct sentence is, this man is not angry at us over nothing. Okay, let's move right along. Next sentence. Sarah, space, here with us. So you've got the subject, Sarah. Sarah, it's a she. And let's not forget that this is a negative sentence. So we need to negate it, meaning make it negative. So we should use is not, because Sarah, she, for subject she, we use is, but it's negative. So it should be is not. So the correct sentence is Sarah is not here with us. Next up, I, space, very hungry. So you've got the subject here, I. Okay, so for the subject I, we use am, the verb to be am, but it should be negative by using not. So the correct sentence then should be, I am not very hungry. Next up, we, space, extremely tired. So you've got the subject here, we, and the rule says for the subjects, you, they, and we use the verb to be are. But then since we are talking about negative sentences, so we need to put not. So the correct sentence is, we are not extremely tired. We are not extremely tired is the correct sentence. Okay, let's keep it going. The next sentence is, you, space, a very nice person. We've got the subject, you. The rule therefore says for subject you, we use the verb to be are, but this is a negative sentence, so we need to make it negative by putting a not after it. So the correct sentence becomes, you are not a very nice person. Next, they, space, friendly employees of ours. The subject is they. The rule says for subjects you, they, and we use the verb to be are. So it has to be negative since we are talking about the negative sentences. We said we need to change these sentences into the negative verb sentences in the simple present tense. So the correct sentence then is, they are not friendly employees of ours. Next up, Amy and Tom, space, great dancers. So you've got Amy, who is a she, and you've got Tom, who is a he. In this case, right, you've got two subjects. As I've explained in the previous video, we take them as a collective. So it's two people now. So it's the same as they, because I am not included in this collective subject. So the subject is the same as they. And therefore, as we saw in the sentence before this one, for the subject they, our verb to be has to be are. And since it is a negative verb to be sentence, then it has to be followed by not. So the correct sentence is, Amy and Tom are not great dancers. Okay? Next sentence. Sylvia and I, space, close friends. You've got Sylvia, who is the subject. It's a she. And I'm included. I am a he. But in this case, we've got two subjects again. So I take this subject as a collective. So it is we. Why we? Because I have included myself, right? So that's why I say we. So the rule says, for the subject, you, they, and we use the verb to be are, okay? And since the instructions were, we have to convert them to negative sentences, therefore, I need to include not. So the correct sentence is, Sylvia and I are not close friends. Okay? Perfect. So these are the exercises for the simple present tense negative verb to be sentences. In all of these sentences that we did in this video, none of them contained a real verb. By real verb, I mean words such as jump, speak, talk, listen, sit, run, walk, work, and so on. None of them contained such verbs. They only contained am, is, or are. So they are verb sentences. And what makes them negative is the fact that they contain the word not. So these verb to be sentences are negative. And as such, these verbs are negative verb sentences. Perfect. So this was part 6. Please be on the lookout for part 7. In part 7, I am going to explain, right, the yes, no, question, verb to be sentences, right? So we are going to form the yes, no questions, but with no real verbs, but rather with verbs to be. Please be on the lookout for that video. Okay? So this is the end of Simple Present Tense Part 6. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I hope that you learned as much as possible. Thank you so much for listening to this lesson. Goodbye, and see you in Part 7. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye, and take care.